Hi, welcome to another Basketball Pantheon video. I'm Braden Neubauer, joined by
Adam Johnson.
Austin Johnson.
Haven't done one in a couple weeks, so there's a lot of stuff to cover. So we'll start with the Rondo trade.
It's the big one. So Rondo and Dwight Powell, a huge piece there, going to the Mavericks. Celtics getting a first-round pick, a second-round pick. Who else?
Jay Crowder,
Brandon Wright, and Jameer Nelson. Yes, I didn't memorize that, but so crazy. We kind of saw the rumors. I remember hearing about it. Like Rondo is probably actually going to get traded. We've heard about that for years, but now it's like finally here. And then
it all happened so fast that day.
It did very fast.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It went from like, oh, the Mavs are really making a push to like it's done.
By like afternoon.
Yeah,
to looking on social media with pictures of him in the mat.
It was crazy how quick it happened. I remember saying, because my roommate and I were talking about it, and he's like, oh, where would he go? Like, what makes the most sense? And they're like, well, he wants to go to a Western Conference team. And I was like, well, I mean, Memphis, like, they don't need a point guard. San Antonio, they don't need a point guard. The Clippers definitely don't need a point guard. Like, where is it? I was like, Dallas is kind of the only one that could use an upgrade. Mm-hmm. And a day later, it's Dallas. So pretty crazy. So Rondo is not who he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like the 2010 playoffs, Rondo is probably peak Rondo, and that was an amazing player. But that's not who he is anymore. So I think that some people are hearing it's like, oh, Mavs got Rondo, like they're set, and it's like, well, not quite.
Now they can win the championship.
Right. We talk about how if you have Monte Ellis, Rondo is a good point guard to have, one that really couldn't care less about scoring.
For sure.
Yes.
He will even go out of his way to get an assist.
Versus
scoring
almost to
sometimes.
a fault. Yeah.
But I mean, losing Brandon Wright,
that's huge.
It was huge. And not that Brandon Wright is so good, but he just fit that team so well. It's not like the Celtics now got like a piece to build around. Like Brandon Wright's good as a 20-minute per game player. But he was like a perfect copy of Tyson Chandler.
Yes.
I don't think they're done making moves. They can't.
Really? Yeah.
I agree. I read that Jermaine O'Neal maybe is going to come back,
which would be a good veteran big man reserve to have, because their starting five is
great.
It's awesome.
One of the best in the league.
So I think that's kind of like a high ceiling, low floor. It's a high risk, high reward move.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, if he is close to the Rondo of 3-4 years ago, it's a fantastic trade. I mean, they got the best player in the trade. That's
now.
But
here's my thing though: in my opinion, Rondo was never one of the best point guards in the league. I think he fit that Celtics team perfectly.
Yes.
He got. I mean, his first year he was all right his rookie year, but his second year he was able to play with 3 future Hall of Famers. And win a championship. Yeah, he's a good point guard, but I don't know if he's as big of a star as everybody thinks, and he's definitely not now. I mean, his stats are kind of eye-opening. Some of his statistics are scary.
His free throw percentage
is awful.
33%.
Terrible. For a guard, I've never heard of that.
Unbelievable. For a point guard.
And it's affecting the way he plays. I mean, he doesn't want to get fouled. He'll drive in, avoid contact and kind of flip up something or try to whip it out to the three-point line because he doesn't want to go to the line. Because, I mean, I wouldn't either if I was shooting 33%. But, that's really embarrassing. We were talking about that, where do you rank Rondo? The point guards, there's always this constant,
he's his own breed.
Dialogue where you want to, he's
really
a true point guard.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. To me, a true point guard doesn't have to be score first, pass first. That's not pass first is true, score first is not. It's not that simple. I think there's a true point guard could fit in any sort of environment. So yes, maybe Russell Westbrook would not. I mean, Russell Westbrook is a far better player than Rajon Rondo, but Chris Paul, you could pluck from the Clippers, put in every other team, and he fits that.
Yes.
He finds a way to make them better.
Yes.
That's a true point guard to me. Whether that's score first or pass first, that doesn't really matter. I think it's just how you can affect the rest of the players on the team. And Rondo, without that talent around him, couldn't do that properly. So now that he has it, I do think there'll be some return to form. Maybe not quite what he was in the 2010 playoffs, but
I don't think they necessarily need him to be that.
Right? Yeah. I mean
they were one of the most efficient offensive teams in the history of the league that we've ever seen.
Pre-Rondo.
Pre-Rondo. Yeah, they
6 points and get 14 assists a game. That's exactly what they want.
Yeah, a lot of people are oh, it's a huge upgrade defensively. It's yes, if he's engaged. I mean, Rondo has the capability to play much better defense.
Just like James Harden does, but James Harden's terrible.
Does he ever do it? Yeah. So that's will remain to be seen. I really hope that he brings it defensively, because that team will be really fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
it already is offensively.
No, they scare me as a Spurs fan for sure. Just
but
knowing that Rondo can when he wants to lock down players.
Well, that first game against the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they win. Yeah,
they beat us. So
granted, it was
sat
fully
like
the
7
JV
players.
team.
Yeah, literally our top 7
It was
players
the JV
were
Spurs.
sitting
Yeah.
We pulled up some guys from the Austin team,
Yeah.
our D-League team. So that was
Marco Bellinelli was like a leading scorer. So
we only lost by what, 5, 6?
6. Yeah,
we were with them until Monte Ellis just went off at the end and just
see, Monte Ellis kills the Spurs anyway, and then without
no matter what.
everybody else,
Yeah.
he is going to kill us. But no, it is going to be interesting to see how those two play together because offensively you'd think it make perfect sense. Defensively, they can't guard those bigger guards. Like if they play the Warriors, like who guards Klay Thompson?
Oh gosh.
That would be difficult. So I don't know how exactly what route Carlisle has planned for them in that sense, but
he's smart.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, Carlisle's a smart guy. That's the thing that you could always say. It's like, I mean, Carlisle can figure this out. Like, he's one of the best coaches in this league. He's probably the best offensive coach in this league. So
I agree.
Their offense should be fine. I don't expect any sort of drop off, but defense is where they need to improve. They have the capability to improve with this Rondo over Jameer Nelson, but we will see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be very interesting to watch that team. And they're a big man away from really solidifying.
Yeah, and I think he's right. I think they've got a little bit more to do. Maybe not like right now, but before that trade deadline, they're going to make a couple more moves.
They got a couple months.
Yeah, it's either a buyout of Okafor or sign Jermaine O'Neal. There's something along those lines. There's got to be a big because right now, I mean, it's Tyson Chandler and that's about it. I mean, it's Bernard James maybe. That's probably not the route they want to go. Yeah. So we will see. Dallas, remains to be a very, very interesting team. They already were, but now even more so. But anyway, what else?
So I got a chance to go to the Spurs Grizzlies game at
on
insane
Wednesday,
triple overtime
last
game
Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
Last Wednesday,
Craziest game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I've been to quite a few games, and that game was insane. Which we didn't have Parker and Kawhi for that game. Which I mean, we were talking about earlier. It's a good sign that we're keeping up with these teams without. I mean, some of our best players.
Yeah,
I would say our best player, Tony Parker. I think it's safe to say.
And I mean, our second best, Kawhi, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan stepped up big time.
Oh yeah,
he's been great. Yeah, but with those guys out,
that Grizzlies game. I mean, without Parker, it's so weird because we have those lineups when Corey Joseph isn't in, where there's no point guard really.
Yeah.
And we don't. I mean, there's no lack of ball movement, but that Parker coming off that screen on the offside is, I mean, nobody can come off that screen and create like Parker can. So it's constant passing and kind of it's just.
And the penetration really isn't there. Yeah, so you can almost play a zone. You can almost just kind of pack it in and just
because Bellinelli tries to drive and finishes one set 10 times.
Right.
And then Ginobili's not the same that he used to be.
No.
So he's not finishing as
Danny
much.
Green
it's just weird without Parker.
Seems to be staying behind the 3-point line pretty much the entire season.
Which he's been kind of on fire.
It's fine. It's fine, but it's
Yeah, he really caught fire in that Grizzlies game.
That Grizzlies game was awesome.
Not having a primary ball handler, that's what they do.
It's just weird because it's still the same Spurs movement.
Yes,
and stuff, It's just the way Parker controls it is.
Well, I think it shows. I think that shows. I think you're right. It is the same. It is the same Spurs movement. But I think that shows. There's so many teams that are like, we want to play more like the Spurs. It's like you kind of have to have brilliant players to do that, though. Like
you do.
It's not just like we can play like the Spurs, just to play like the Spurs. I mean, if you just dot the ball around and nobody can get to the lane,
it is the NBA.
There's no point. Yeah, exactly.
We are dealing with the most talented players in the world. So you do have to be a skilled, talented player to do those things against those defenses.
So like at that point, you're just passing to pass.
Yes,
it's not like there's any real anything behind it. It's like, we're trying to pass to get this spot. Like the Spurs, they know it's like, someone brought this other day. It's not like they're even passing to players sometimes. They're passing just spots. Like they know like someone's gonna be in this left corner if I drive this way. Like that's kind of just what they do. It doesn't really matter who it is in that left corner. Like that, pretty much everybody can shoot.
There's nowhere to be.
Yeah. So like if you don't have those players on the court, like the system doesn't work as well. It's just not even close, really. So
even when everyone knows it, you have to have.
Yeah, and they still find ways to generate points, and there's a lot of Duncan post ups in the last few games without Parker there, which is kind of hit or miss. But I mean, like against Portland, it was phenomenal.
It was great.
Yeah. But against Memphis, down the stretch, there really wasn't much to do. And so down the stretch, so we want to talk about watching it on TV. The Boris Diaw turnover was just maddening. I mean,
I was going crazy. The person I was with couldn't, because I was just a game got me emotionally, and I just couldn't even talk. I was just like, you have to stop.
Don't even know how to react to that.
And that pass, I just
so the scene. So they're up 3. Spurs are up 3. Get a rebound. There's probably 22 seconds.
20 something.
Yeah, there's the shot clock goes off. And
we won the game essentially. With that
he literally needs to just hold the ball. It's a very elementary
mistake. That's my thing. Is why did he even look to pass it first?
Yeah.
And he just
launches it up.
Yeah,
it's like a weird.
It, and it goes straight to Connolly, I think, and he throws it right to.
Yes. Danny Green tried to make a play at it, but
it just went right past him.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He throws it to Courtney Lee in the corner, I think. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Courtney Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a quick ball movement, Vince Carter on the right wing, and then Carter to Courtney Lee in the corner. Corner 3. Tied it. And so it's just like infuriating.
All 3 overtime, every time Diao got a rebound after that, just held it, both elbows out.
Waiting for everyone to
3
clear.
seconds and chest pass.
And then we had another, two of the worst passes I've ever seen. Then Ginobili throws the lob.
Danny Green.
Danny Green almost got killed.
Almost
died on the court.
Bad.
And then Courtney Lee go up for the ball. And it was just a pointless pass. I mean, it's just, that was another one where they're winning the game. I mean, it's just like the mistakes they're making while winning. It wasn't even like, we really got to make something happen, get the ball pushed up the court. Like, just hold the ball. Like, dribble it out, they'll have to foul. It was just ridiculous, some of the turnovers.
And then that last shot by Ginobili was just like, I'm done with this game. Like, it's triple overtime.
Yeah. When
we didn't call
timeout. Which is fine. Sometimes until there wasn't transition.
Yeah, you don't want to call a timeout. The defense hasn't set up yet, so sometimes it's beneficial not to call a timeout, but I think it definitely was.
Right.
Because we were also chaotic and didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, there was one moment where I paused it during that play, and all 5 Grizzlies are on their side of half court playing defense. No one has even crossed half court for the Spurs yet. So it wasn't transition, even semi-transition. Like, that was just a very normal possession, and Ginobili just jacked it up. I mean, it was
very anticlimactic ending with how dramatic that game was. And then it was just like, it's not over. Like, it can't be over, right? And then everyone left.
Wild game. And so the next night, so that was Wednesday night. The next night, some friends and I went to the Houston Rockets and New Orleans Pelicans game. So Wednesday night, the game on ESPN, second game on ESPN was Rockets Nuggets, which went to overtime because of an Aaron Aflalo 3 at the buzzer. Yeah. So the Rockets were coming in, having played overtime in Denver the night before. So I kind of expected a little bit of a letdown. It wasn't going to be the full Rockets experience, but we get there. Pretty decent game to start, back and forth. Anthony Davis, I think in the first quarter, had 15 and
not surprising,
like 6. At the end of the first quarter,
maybe
normal.
13. That's normal now.
Yeah, and so it's just like, ridiculous. And so they kind of stayed pretty close. And then down the stretch, the Pelicans really made some plays. Tyreek Evans was out. Dwight Howard.
That's right. Yeah.
Did not look good. They just looked extremely tired. The Rockets. They took some bad shots. If the Rockets look tired, it's not good.
It's noticeable. Yeah, it's one of the most noticeable teams in the league. Yeah. Amongst the good teams, that you can really tell when the Rockets are not in shape or not ready to go.
That team needs that energy to push the ball. Jack threes. Like, if their legs aren't there, it's just not.
It's fine because in the playoffs you get breaks. You're not playing doubleheaders, so they'll be fine.
Especially one night.
I feel like Dwight's a big part of that too.
Yes.
Like, he either looks, he's been
great
really bad or looks really great.
Yeah,
and it's like, if the Rockets aren't doing well, it's like Dwight doesn't look good right now.
Yeah. He really is the key. I mean, Harden is phenomenal, and there's a couple plays where you're just like blown away by some of his, just like ball handling. I mean, just the quickness, but he's such a weird player. I mean, he's probably the best at drawing fouls I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, aside from maybe bigs that like a Shaq that just.
But someone that has the ball,
actually trying to draw fouls. Yes. Like
someone you don't want to foul.
It's a science. It's like a science. He's mastered it, and it's incredible.
And he knows it too. He knows.
He's so nonchalant and
it's amazing.
Like he drives.
It doesn't really look like he's moving that fast.
Yeah, but
then his moves are so quick, and it's like he's at the rim. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's pretty amazing to watch in person. That was the first time I've ever seen Anthony Davis live. I'd seen the Rockets a few times, but
that's a treat.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, just incredible. Affects every possession. He finished with 30, 14, and 5 blocks. Pelicans won down the stretch. Drew Holiday hit some huge shots. There's a Pelicans fan behind me, or just, I don't know, a guy from New Orleans behind me, and was a huge Drew Holiday fan. So that was fun to listen to him kind of go off down the stretch. Yeah. And after the game, we kind of stayed after and waited like the players to leave, like we used to when we were kids, and try to get armbands and stuff. And it's like, it's kind of weird to do at this point. It's just like these guys, like Anthony Davis is younger than me, and so it's really strange, like yelling at him and trying to get him to throw his like rubber band to me. But
it's Anthony Davis.
It's Anthony Davis. It's like, that's worth something if I get it. Yeah. But I don't know. It was so it was fun. It was a really enjoyable experience. The Pelicans look good, but they just don't look like a team that can like knock out any of these teams to make the playoffs. They're not good enough to hold off Oklahoma City, even though they beat them last night without Kevin Durant. But I just don't see. Anthony Davis is unreal. Their bench is just a joke. The Pelicans bench. Holiday starting to play well. Ryan Anderson. I mean, there's guys there, but it's just when you look at the other 8 teams, there's just no way they knock out any of those teams.
It's too tough. Yeah, in the East for sure. But yeah, it's.
Oh, if they're in the East, they'd be the 6th seed lock already.
They'd be Yeah, for sure. But
so that's disappointing to see that one of the best players in the league is not going to make the playoffs. But it was an enjoyable game. And then right after that, I drove home and watched the Thunder and Warriors game recorded. Which
great game.
I know, you did too. Awesome. Fantastic. Durant had 30 in the first half.
And he only played like 18 minutes. That's the quickest ever. Right?
Yeah,
it was in 18 minutes.
Yeah,
he's a freak. I mean,
to score 30. And so it's in Golden State.
Yeah,
and then he rolls
for the rest of the game.
Ankle. Yeah, the last play of the first half lands on, I want to say, Draymond Green's foot. And and that was just, it was the same foot that he had the break in. So everyone was kind of worried for a second there, but he ended up just being a sprain. He's still out, but we'll be back. It's day to day, so it's not nearly as bad as I think people initially thought when he first went down.
He's on the sideline, I think, of the game. So
he has been. He
was on the sideline last night for the Pelicans game.
Yeah, he has been. So that's good. That's good to see. But he was just incredible in that. In that first half, I think there's a stretch there where he hit 3 threes in a row. Went for the fourth one. It was just like people just draped all over him, rattled out, and it was just like
I was getting really excited.
Heat check shot, it was incredible. Had like 11 points in about a minute and a half. You kind of forget just because he hasn't played this year how quickly he can get hot and just no one can guard him. It's like just the height and the ball handling. He's just unguardable. But that was an awesome game. Warriors closed it out down the stretch. No Bogut again for Golden State. But
Bogut Lee didn't play either, did he?
No, still no Lee.
Yeah, no Lee.
So that I remember saying to a friend that needs to be a playoff series this year.
Yeah, I think it will be.
At some point
if they both stay all healthy 100%, and those two teams can.
That could be the funnest series of the playoff.
That could be the conference finals.
Last year we had those games where Westbrook hit that crazy game winner. They every time they play,
go at it. Yeah,
it's a really good game.
There's some kind of respect. Like they go at it pretty hard, but there's a level of respect. Like we're the two young, we got some younger players. Like they know they're stars. Like
they're both exciting up tempo.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh yeah.
Well, and their best players for each team aren't punks. Like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant.
That's what I was gonna say. Yes.
That usually helps. But
everyone loves those two. Like you can't hate either one of them.
Yeah.
So
like Draymond Green may start. Try to start something with Serge Ibaka in a playoff series,
but that's
fun. I don't think it'll spill over to two teams hating each other. Type thing, which every old school person watching this right now is probably like, oh, that's exactly what's wrong with the league. Like they don't hate each other anymore.
They're shaking hands after the game.
To me, it's completely fine. It doesn't affect the play at all.
If they go at it during the game, who cares? Yeah.
But so that was that game. So a really enjoyable Thursday for me. Get to go to the game and then go watch that awesome game right after it. But what else do we have? Friday night. Day after was Spurs
Blazers. Which triple overtime.
Yes,
there hasn't been 2 triple overtime games in a row since 1951.
Yep. Yeah,
that's Baltimore Bullets.
Yeah,
the Spurs hadn't even played a triple overtime game in 30 years.
Yeah,
and then we played two in a row.
Amazing. Against not just against like some garbage teams. The Grizzlies and the Blazers. Yeah. It was. And the Blazers, Damian Lillard, it was his night, I'd say. 43? 43 points.
That's ridiculous.
And just some of the shots, that step-back 3 hit in the right corner.
Right in front of our bench.
I was ridiculous at that point.
The dunk he had, two-handed dunk.
Like, just glides.
It was so easy for him. Mm-hmm. It was his night. There was nothing we could do about that. But I will say, the first overtime, we almost had like a 9-point swing where... Danny Green's 3 where they took it away.
We went up at the beginning of the first 2 overtimes.
We started off pretty well.
And Duncan was awesome. Yeah.
And then triple overtime, we go down like 8.
Like a minute and a half.
That.
And then it was like we're out of gas.
Yeah, it was over at that point. But I remember the Duncan post up where I think I gave us a 6-point lead in the second overtime, and I thought this is probably game. And they just kind of kept hitting shots. Damian Lillard just kept hitting threes, and then they got that one from Steve Blake at one point.
And they got Darrell Wright 3.
Darrell Wright 3. Yeah, it was just like a really random kind of group. I do like that both teams, and the Grizzlies did this a little bit too, I guess, or the Spurs did against the Grizzlies. When you go to another overtime, make a couple of subs. I don't really like when you just grind these guys down.
Yeah.
Pop is not, obviously he's going to do that. He's not going to play that same crew over and over. But I really liked that. And then the Blazers did that too. And
I think Ginobili almost sat the entire second overtime.
Yeah.
He put Kyle Anderson in, Bellinelli came in. I mean, the third overtime we kind of gave the towel.
Yeah.
But I think the lineup at the end of the game was Baines, Bonner, Anderson. Yeah, it was
we're down 8.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Seems like the Spurs just keep getting so close these last 3 games, and then things just go their way and not the Spurs way.
When you're missing as good of players as we're missing, it's that makes sense.
Tough,
but no, that was another kind of frustrating one, but a really great game.
As a basketball fan, it was amazing. Man, watching Lillard was a treat. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And so this kind of brought up something I want to talk about. So we've talked about Rondo and Parker, Lillard, like all these guys, Westbrook. Like we were talking about tiers the other day, some friends and I. And, like, where do you rank, like, certain point guards? Like, okay, so Rondo, like, you don't have him in your top 5. Like, where do you have him? It's like, I don't really even have him in the top 10. Like, when you really sit there and talk about all the point guards. So we went through every team and just named off their point guards. And then we kind of put them in tiers. And, I mean, the top tiers is for sure Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Tony Parker, Steph Curry. I mean, there's like those 4 or 5, like no doubt. Like
I think Mike Conley is.
We had Conley in the second.
Right outside.
Lawson,
John Wall.
John
Wall could even be.
Wall's right in between, I think.
He probably is playing well this year. I mean, Rondo's not even in the top 10. Like we just named 10 guys right there.
Yeah, and so and that's what I was saying. Back to the point where it's like you can pluck all those guys and put them on a team, and they find a way to be great. Whereas like I just don't think that's the case with Rondo. You know, like great player, yes, but not like a transcendent like point guard. Like I mean, he's maybe the 12th best point guard in the league. You know,
you wouldn't question it as much with any other any of those other guys.
Yeah, this is and someone made this point. I think I went to Zach Lowe on his podcast. He's like, if you talk about like Rondo, like where you rank him, like if you call the Grizzlies and with Rondo, and you're like, we'll just trade Rondo for Conley straight up, like they hang up on you right away. I mean, there's no way.
Like they almost, I would think they laugh.
Yeah, it's like, no way. You're not getting even an answer to that. So and
that's the case with a lot of teams.
Yeah, you could say that with a lot of other point guards. So yeah, I mean, for all the fanfare Rondo gets, and I don't know, I hate to like rag on the guy, but like I don't think he's like this piece that's just like, oh man, the Mavs are unbeatable now.
Yeah. So, now they can win the championship. Yeah. No, I thought they were scary before. I don't really know if they got better or if they got worse. I don't know. I think it'll take.
We just don't know yet.
It'll take time, to really see how he handles every. I mean, I
don't think it's as scary as it initially felt like it was. Because
when you see him in the jersey, like whoa,
they got Rondo. Like, good lord, this team is stacked. Then you really think about it.
Like how it affects the rest
this might not actually work.
They lost some guys. Yeah,
I think it can work though.
Yeah.
And if it does, then yes, it'll be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, it's on Rondo, in my opinion.
True.
I mean,
100%.
That's not on anybody else. But But this is another point I thought about just now, and guys who like sometimes are more popular. I don't know if this is the case, but I've always thought about this. Like guys who have just like really interesting names seem to like stay popular longer than like they should. Like if Rajon Rondo's name was like John Davis, like would little kids love him as much?
No.
You know what I mean? Would you see like kids in Rondo jerseys? Like,
that's how it is.
But Rajon Rondo, like that's an awesome name. So
it's a great name. No, he's good. He's
like an 8-year-old's like, oh, Rajon Rondo, like and they're gonna buy his jersey, like regardless of how he plays on the court.
Who's your favorite player? Rondo.
Like I coached, I helped coach basketball like at a school, and like we run camps and stuff like that. Like I mean, this is in Texas, and there were more Rondo jerseys than any other player I saw last year at the 2 camps that we had. It's just like really random. It's like, why him?
And this guy's not even playing.
Yeah, it's like
what
just a torn ACL. Yeah, I don't. So it's like really odd.
That's weird. I've never thought about that. But that's
kids seem to just like love Rondo for some
reason.
I
mean, I did. I loved Rondo. I got his headband his rookie year at a game. I was so pumped. Like I loved Rondo. My thing. I think he is like a Celtic. He embodies what they're about.
When they had everyone.
Yes, when they had everyone. And now I don't even know who he is as a player, really. I mean, we have yet to see.
Yeah, remains to be seen.
Yeah, we have yet to see him really come back.
Yeah. And so we don't know what he can do on any other team. But,
so we'll see.
But so I was trying to think of other guys that have that like thing. Like I always think like Tracy McGrady is a great name. And he may have stayed popular longer than he should have, because
True. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard's a great name.
Honestly, like he's not. I'm not going to say he's overrated, but like kids like him. His name's cool. Kawhi.
DeMar DeRozan, really solid name.
Peja Stojakovic.
Yes, a fantastic.
Which Peja has
in honor of him getting his jersey retired.
That's a big moment. That's when we started really liking basketball. Those players,
that Kings team
is awesome. If we remember watching them play against the Lakers, and
we can do an entire video on that
Kings team. And
that one series.
The 0-2. Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely have some stuff on that. I watched that whole entire series over the summer. So we'll have some stuff coming on that at some point. But that team was awesome.
Congrats to Peja. That's awesome.
And yeah, there's a lot of this, like, so it's next to Vlade now. So it's really cool to see these guys who came over from, Europe, like these Eastern European players who came together eventually in Sacramento, California, and now both have their jerseys. Awesome. Like, this is really cool, like how the NBA does it. It's like this global thing where, it's all works out. So that was really cool to see. Yeah, definitely, congrats to him for sure. But anyway.
All right, so that should do it for this week's video. Got a lot covered.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
A little Christmas wrap up. So.
Thanks.
Yep.